So when my father arrived in 1950, they had already created a vibrant Yiddish theatre scene, and he slotted straight into that. And he and Yossl, who was one of the prima actors, and he were the leaders of the Yiddish theatre. And so my father was one of the two leading actors and the director. My father was the director, the set builder, the sound technician. He lived for the theatre. So the David Herman Theatre certainly had its golden period from about 1948 through to the mid-70s to early 80s. So certainly the 60s and 70s was its golden period. You know, plays were performed throughout the year to packed houses both in Carlton and Elstonwick. I'll tell you a funny story. There was a running joke in our house. We didn't have a lot. We were, you know, look, on today's standards, we were probably quite a poor immigrant family. I didn't realise it at the time because you judge yourself by what you see around you. But my mother would often miss tablecloths and, you know, vases and other bits and pieces in the house and wonder where they'd gone. And the mystery was always solved a few weeks or months later when she'd be sitting in the theatre watching one of the plays that's on, and there's our tablecloth and there's our vase. And so there was this sort of blurring of the lines between what was on the Yiddish stage and at home. But it was just that intensity of, you know, this whimsy and the stage, and it just sort of blurred in from one play to the other. And then there was glazaltés with visiting actors. I met Shimon Dzigan on several occasions, and he was in our home, and, you know, he was a star, you know, and I didn't, and he behaved like a star when he came to our home. He would travel with the Israeli actress of the time, and she may not have spoken Yiddish, but she was good looking, and he fancied himself as a bit of a sort of a Frank Sinatra, Rat Pack sort of guy during the 60s and 70s, and, you know, he'd be in our home, and my father would try to explain to me, do you know, this is Dzigan, right? This is Shimon Dzigan, right? Like that I'm meant to be impressed by Shimon Dzigan. I get it now, but those were heady days. I would, because I was helping the theatre in lights and what have you, you know, to be 1 o'clock at a restaurant and people shouting drinks in Yiddish and laughter and storytelling fueled by a bit of brandy and whiskey, that was a really golden period for Yiddish theatre in Australia.